Okay, in Java loop, in particularly, we are going to see the do while loop, and for loop. Okay, so these are the three loops that we are going to see today. So the first one, broadly speaking, these can be subdivided into two categories. Okay. Now, what are these two categories? They can be termed as, say, for example, just let me. Okay. Now, this complete loop can be of two types. Okay, so first one is called as a entry control. Okay, entry control, and the another one is called as a exit control. Exit control. Okay, now what do you mean by these? The meaning is simple, that whenever you are going to use uh, these loops, whenever you are going to use these loops, whenever you know how many times that particular statement needs to be executed. For example, suppose this system.out.println hello world, this statement I know that I need to print it for 10 times. So beforehand, before the starting of the program, I know very well that this particular statement should get executed for 10 number of times. Okay, so in this kind of situation wherein I know that a particular loop will be executed for 10 number of times, I will prefer to use the for loop instead of the while or do while loop. Why? Because it is very simple that whenever the control enters into the for loop, it checks whether the condition is true or not. And that is why this is called as a entry control loop. ओके, एंट्री कंट्रोल मतलब यहाँ पे ये मान लो अपना प्रोग्राम है और इस प्रोग्राम में ये 10 स्टेटमेंट है और ये 10 स्टेटमेंट का एक ब्लॉक है. ओके, एंड इफ आई नो that this statement needs to be executed for 10 times, then at the time of the at the time of execution, or at the time of uh, coming to control, it will start looking for the condition. That is कि ये जो स्टेटमेंट है ये क्या 10 बार एग्जीक्यूट हो सकते हैं. If at all they cannot get executed for 10 times because the condition is false, then it will never get executed. Okay, so that is the thing that you will have to keep in mind, that entry control loop may there are two things, like whether that particular situation can be handled or is getting satisfied or not. ठीक है, तो जैसे यहाँ पे मैं फॉर लूप लिखता हूँ, तो फॉर में आई हैव इनिशियलाइजेशन सेमीकोलन, कंडीशन सेमीकोलन, एंड देन increment or decrement. So here, if this condition is satisfied, that is, if this condition is true, okay, then and only then these statement will get executed. Okay, and that is why it is called as a entry control loop. मतलब ये statement को execute करने से पहले it will check whether this condition is true or not. If it is not true, then the control will come out of it and it will execute the next statement if at all there. Okay, so this is called as a entry control loop. While the do while and while, these are called as a exit control loop. एग्जिट कंट्रोल मतलब क्या है कि ये स्टेटमेंट, ये ब्लॉक ऑफ स्टेटमेंट को एग्जीक्यूट करने के बाद आखिरी में यहां पे कंडीशन चेक होती है, एंड दैट इज व्हाई these are called as a exit control loop. Okay, I hope the concept is clear to everyone. What is the meaning of entry control loop and what is exit control loop? Okay, now moving ahead, is there any doubt to anyone? Okay, then we'll move further and we'll try to write very simple programs using all these loops. Okay, so entry control and exit control. Okay, so entry control and exit control, these are the types of loops. Okay, now for example, suppose I want to write a loop over here and print this for 10 times. Okay, so I can write for int I is equal to 0, I is less than 3, I plus plus. Okay, and then this will be part of my for loop and I will finish. Now how the execution is going on? Execution is very simple. As I have told you that for loop has three things. Okay, for loop में तीन चीजें होती है. कौन सी तीन चीजें होती है? So one is called as initialization. So this is initialization part. Okay, then this is a condition, and then this is a increment or decrement. Increment or decrement. Okay, so this is the loop. Here I am saying that I have initialized I with 0 until and unless I is less than 0, I is less than 3, continue the execution of this hello world. Okay, and then I plus plus. मतलब क्या होगा? Control will come over here first. It will check the condition. ठीक है, initialization कर लिया, उसके बाद क्या करेगा? It will check the condition whether this condition is true. If it is true, the control will come on line number 17 over here. It will execute this statement, and after execution of this statement, control will go to the increment or decrement part over here, I plus plus. Now again, the value of I from 0 it has become 1 because of I plus plus. Okay, now again it will check the condition whether I is less than 3. Yes, it is true. Again this statement will get executed, and this will continue the time till this condition is true. The moment this condition gets false, the control will come over here, and if there is any statement over here that is outside the loop, then that will be printed. Okay, outside the loop. Okay, and the same way we can say this is inside the loop. Okay, inside the loop. So now as you can see, the for loop will start over here. It will check the condition. If this condition is true, it will go to increment. Then this statement, that is a single statement, will be executed. The moment it occurs a closing brace, it will go to increment or decrement. Again check the condition. If this condition is true, then this statement will get executed. Again the control will come over here. The moment this condition becomes false, the control will come to the line number 19. Okay, so let us try to run this piece of code. Okay, so as you can see, hello world inside the loop has been printed for 3 times and outside the loop for 1 time. Why? Because now it has reach that condition, I is less than 3. So the moment I becomes 3, it will be stopping and it will come out of over here. And even if you want, we can print the value of I also. Okay, so let us try to see what is the value of I. So it will start with 0, 1, 2. The moment it becomes 3, it will stop the execution. As you can see, the value of I is 0, 1 and 2. The moment it becomes 3, I is less than 3, 3 is less than 3, false. So it will come out of the loop. So this is called as a entry control loop. This for loop should be utilized whenever you know beforehand that how many times that particular loop should get executed. ठीक है, अगर आपको पता है कि कितने बार एग्जीक्यूट करना है तो क्या यूज करना है, फॉर लूप यूज करना है. ओके, now in the same way, let me just comment out this loop. Okay, so this is a multi-line comment, and now we can use the another loop, that is do while loop. Okay, in the same way I can write do. Okay, and then again I will say for this. Okay, and then I will say while I is less than 3. Okay, while I is less than 3. Okay, no for, but we need to declare the variable I over here. So int I is equal to 0, otherwise it will give the error. So first time it will give 0. Okay, and let us try to see again over here. I is less than 3, and here I need to increment I plus plus separately. Okay, so again the same result 0, 1, 2, but now this time this will be executed for at least 1 time. Now try to see the difference over here. Okay, what is the difference between these two? Okay, now I will set the value of I to be 3. Okay, I की value मैंने क्या किया, I will set this value to 3 at the initial stage only. Okay, now let us try to run the things. Okay, now here sorry, here I cannot say int I. Okay, I can skip this part. Now see what is happening. Again, to show you exactly what is happening, you need to say here do while loop, and here inside the for loop. Now try to see what is happening over here. Now the results are very interesting. Why? Because now here you can see we are only executing do while loop, and that too for 1 time only. Okay, so for loop has been skipped at all. There is no execution of for loop, while the do while loop has been executed but for only 1 time. Okay, so that is why these loops are called as an exit control loop. So यहाँ पे exit हो रहा, control उस वक्त condition check होगी. So इसका मतलब क्या है कि for loop एक भी बार execute नहीं होगा if this condition is false, while do while loop will get executed for at least one time, because it is the condition that is getting checked at the exit time of the loop, not the entry time. Here, at the time of entry, the control is getting checked whether the condition is true or false. Okay, so this condition at the initial state only is false. So that is why this statement will never get executed. While in do while loop, although the condition is also false over here, but this will get executed for at least one time, because the condition is getting checked at the time of exiting the loop, not at the time of entry of the loop. Okay, so that is the biggest difference. Okay, now another thing that you can observe over here, if I want to write the while loop, okay, on the similar lines, if I want to write a while loop, let me comment all these things. Okay, so I have commented all these loops and I will write while. Okay, so I will write while I is less than 3. Okay, and here I will say again system.out.println. Now here I will say only while loop. Okay, so I will say while loop. Here again it is the control that is getting checked at the time of entry only. Okay, so the condition is false. Why? Because I have initialized I with 3. At the same point of time the condition is false, so this statement will never get executed. So the for loop and the while loop are the entry control loop, while do while is a exit control loop. Okay, this is clear to everyone. Now there are two things that you should also know. They are called as a break and continue. Break and continue. Okay, now if I want to break the loop in occurrence of a particular condition, if I want to break the loop, then that I can achieve with the help of break. Okay, so again let me write over here I is initialized with say 0. Okay, and here I can write if I is greater than 2, the moment I is greater than 2, break the loop. Okay, I will break it. So let us try to see what is happening over here. Okay, so as you can see, the for loop is getting executed for 0, 1, 2. Okay, and then that for loop will get break if I is greater than 2, greater than or equal to 2. Otherwise you will not be able to see the difference. Okay, so you can see over here. So that is regarding the break. Okay, this break can be utilized in all the loops. Okay, so here if I make greater than or equal to 1, so you can see over here 0 and 1 is getting printed. Okay, so same logic can be applied inside the do while loop also. So here also I can say the same, and here also I can say the same. Okay, so only one time it is getting executed. Okay, now what is the continue? ब्रेक मतलब क्या हो गया कि लूप ही ब्रेक कर दिया, इसका मतलब क्या है, कंट्रोल विल कम आउट ऑफ this and the control will come to line number 27 if this condition gets satisfied. Okay, now there is another thing which is very interesting to note, that is called as a continue. Okay, now let us try to assume what is the effect of this output on continue. Continue का मतलब क्या होगा कि continue means now it will skip the remaining part of the statement of the loops. Okay, suppose I am saying this line of statement over here. Okay, instead of over here, then this will skip. Continue का मतलब क्या हो गया, now it will skip this statement and it will go and increment the things, check the condition, and then it will do the same thing. Okay, so let us try to run this. Okay, so as you can see, they are getting executed for one time only. Why? Because the moment this condition is satisfied, the current loop is continued. That means control will never execute this statement again. Why? Because continue का मतलब हो गया कि ये statement को skip करो और आगे का जो भी iteration available है उस iteration को perform करो. Okay, so it will perform the next iteration. So likewise here you can see the effect of continue on each of the loop. Okay, is it okay? Any problem up till now?